Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 biggest mistakes I see people make when they run influencer ads. I've seen thousands of ads over the past couple of years and I can tell you most people make at least 1 or 2 of these mistakes. And if you're doing these things, then you know exactly how to fix them after watching this video. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Mistake number 1, your ads are too short. I see so many dropshippers or even brands in general just running really short 1 story slide ads. And for those of you new to this channel, we mostly work with Instagram influencers, so I'll be referring to story ads a lot. But I see so many people running only 1 story slide ads, and the issue with that is that there's just not enough time for people to actually understand what your product is, to see how it works, to understand the benefits and the features, and actually convert. You need to be running a minimum of 3 to 4 slides on your story ads in order for it to be effective. We've never done a successful promotion with any influencer if the story content wasn't at least 1 minute long, which is at least 4 story slides. So if you're running 1 story slide ads, you really need to extend your content. And of course, this does depend on your product, because for some products it's just really hard to make your content 1 minute long. If you're selling jewelry, for example, it's really hard to make a 1 minute ad for jewelry. But the thing that you can do in order to extend your video length is to do a try on haul or something like that, where people can actually understand the product, see it in use for a good amount of time before they decide to go ahead and purchase. So you have to make sure that there's just enough time for people to actually see the product in order for them to make a purchase decision. Now, you might be seeing loads of bigger brands that are running really short story ads, but the reason that they do it is because they're not actually aiming for direct ROI. They might be looking to get brand awareness and raise the brand awareness and just get loads of views on the ads, which is why they keep it really short. But if you're going for direct ROI and you want to see a good ROAS on your promotion, you have to make sure you're spending at least a minute on your ads so that the influencer has just sufficient time to actually show off the product, how it works, and then go to a really strong pitch at the very end. So that's the first thing, and it's similar to Facebook ads, of course. If you run a 15-second Facebook ad, obviously there is chances it can convert, but it probably will convert much better if you had a longer form video ad where people could actually see the product in action. So 15 seconds won't cut it. I would really recommend you to be paying your influencers extra just to get 3 or 4 slides on your promotion, but the amount that you pay extra will be nothing compared to the increased ROAS that you will be getting from the ads in the first place. So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is having no straightforward CTA. I've got a perfect example here of an influencer who's tagging the brand inside of a story. She's adding hashtags, she's got a swipe up link as well, and that's just too many things going on. People need a clear CTA. They need to know exactly what's going on and how do they go ahead and purchase. The issue with tagging the brand account and also adding in these hashtags is you might think that, okay, adding in hashtags will get me to an explore page, I can get some more views. But what's actually happening is that the thousands of people that are seeing your ads, they'll get confused on what their next action is meant to be. Some of them will click on the hashtag link, some people will go to the brand profile, and only a small percentage of people will end up swiping up. What you want to do is only leave the swipe up option so people know exactly what's the next step they need to take in order to purchase. You'll see much better click-through rates, significantly better click-through rates if you just had the swipe up option rather than adding in your brand account and your hashtags into a story ad. And if you think about it, if you send people directly to your profile, you might be thinking that's the same thing, people can still go through my profile and purchase. But what happens is that there's usually an extra 3 or 4 steps added in, because first of all, you have a drop off from the people who view your story, then go to your profile. Then you have a second drop off from people who go to the profile and actually click your link. And thirdly, you have a drop off from people who click the link and actually go to the product page, because your link might not be going directly to the product page, it might be to the home page or collection page. So there's many more extra steps if you link people to your profile in your story ads. So don't do that. Only have 1 clear call to action, which should be to swipe up or click the link. And one thing that we always do to maximize the click-through rate that we get is we repeat the swipe up call to action at least 2 times. What happens is that people really understand that they have to swipe up in order to get this product. You can say it once at the beginning of your pitch and once right at the very end, and that way you typically see a higher click-through rate. So that's the second biggest mistake. If you keep on working with influencers and you tag both your brand account and have a swipe up link and have hashtags, stop doing that because it's not actually benefiting you. Okay, now mistake number 3, no justification for your offer. Now this is probably the biggest mistake I see people make. Essentially, everyone is doing 50% off nowadays. You can see any dropship store, any brand is basically doing 50% off at any given time. The way that you need to stand out is actually position your offer in a way that you're not just doing 50% off for no reason. You have to give a justification for why you're running a sale, and that way people are more likely to buy. Here's an example. Let's just say you reach 10,000 happy customers. You can say that the reason for your sale is because you reached 10,000 happy customers. You simply give those instructions to the influencer and they'll use that as a justification at the end of their story ads to help people convert on your offer. Because if your influencer only said the product is 50% off, Sure, now that might convert some people, but if you said it's 50% off because the brand is celebrating their 10,000 happy customers, immediately that adds not only credibility to you, but now people have a clear reason as to why you're having that sale and they're more inclined to make a purchase from you. So remember, whatever offer that you're offering, make sure there's a justification behind it and people are more likely to complete impulse buys right on the spot. This doesn't have to be anything extremely long and complicated, it's literally just 5 seconds of speaking and you can add that into the very end of your slide. The justification is actually the thing that we usually put in between the 2 call to action buttons. So you say the first swipe up once, then you add the justification and then you say swipe up again. That's a perfect recipe for us. Okay, now mistake number 4 is no urgency. You have to force people to make an instant decision or they'll likely just continue with their day. Think about it, people see dozens of ads every single day, and if you don't clearly tell someone why they should be purchasing from you at that exact moment, then they'll most likely just continue on with their day and not make a purchase. Combining urgency with the justification offer is the perfect recipe for success. What you can do is say that the offer is only available for the next 24 hours and instantly people will be more inclined to make a purchase from you because they know that the offer is only there for a limited time. So if you go ahead and start incorporating both a justification as well as urgency into your ads, I can guarantee you'll instantly get a better ROI on all your promotions. Mistake number 5 is no warm up. Now, rarely do you see people actually taking time to warm up an audience before pitching a product to them. And of course, this does still work because we've done this a countless number of times, but it certainly isn't the most effective way to do it. I can almost guarantee you that you'll get a better ROI on your ads if you spend some time warming up the audience, showing your product before actually pitching it, whether it's just an unboxing or whether it's in the background of one of the influencer's YouTube videos, something like that where the influencer just has it organically placed somewhere before you actually pitch it to the audience will get you an instant better ROI. Because usually the audience is able to tell what's a genuine promotion and what's not. So if you're forcing your product onto someone, sure, people might buy, but like I said, if you're more genuine with it, you had the product around for a while, and the influencer didn't necessarily pitch it, they just simply showed themselves using it maybe a couple days before your promotion actually goes live, then there's a good chance that when people actually see the product being promoted to them, they'll be able to tell that the influencer is genuinely promoting it because she actually used the product herself and then she's showing it to her audience. Nowadays, we almost always make sure we have some sort of warm-up for our promotions before we post our main ads. And usually when you're working with influencers, they can kind of combine the prices on these warm-up slides. So what you can do is just pay them an extra $100 or $1,000 depending on how big they are and ask them to integrate the product in some natural way into some of their content and then go ahead and pitch the product on a later date. And the 6th biggest mistake I constantly see is that people are too lenient with bad creative. And this is probably one of the biggest drivers of poor performance on influence ads out of all these mistakes. Essentially, the creative is the most important part of your promotion. If you think about it, when it comes to influence ads, they're very different to Facebook ads. Because let's just say if you pay an influencer $10K for a promotion. Well, if you had a Facebook campaign that had a $10K budget, you could pause it in the middle of the day if it spent, $3K and didn't get you the ROAS you were looking for. But when it comes to influencer ads, as soon as you spend that $10K, there's no way of pausing the ad, there's no way of getting that $10K back. That's it, you have to be fully committed to that decision. And the issue with having bad creative is that if the creative that the influencer created isn't high quality, as in it doesn't pitch the product the right way, the influencer has got like a few silly mistakes in there, it doesn't flow properly if they've done it in multiple takes, then usually the promotion will go bad and it will completely tank. You need to make sure that you're using high quality creative when you're working with influencers. You shouldn't just accept the first thing your influencer sends to you if it's bad quality. Don't be too lenient with them, you have to be strict. And being strict doesn't mean you have to give them like an exact word-to-word brief on what they should be saying, but you should make sure that it is high quality, as in there's no weird cuts in the middle, or that she's actually saying the correct things throughout the entire video. Because like I said, once you approve that creative, there's no going back on it. You have to be 100% sure that the creative will convert, whilst it's very likely that the promotion will tank. You can watch all my videos on how to find the highest quality influencers, but when it comes to the creative, if you have bad creative, the promotion still won't do good. You have to make sure that the creative is okay and you're virtually 100% satisfied with it before it goes live. And this is a big mistake that I made, so that's why I'm making it clear here, because I didn't want any conflict with my influencers. I wanted things to go live as soon as possible. I just wasn't patient enough for them to redo content, so I would produce lower quality content, they would produce lower quality content, and I was okay with it going live because I really wanted the ads to go live. But I would always see bad performance from these influencers that didn't create good quality creative, regardless of how good of an influencer they were themselves. So really, even if it is an extra 1 week back and forth just to make new content, to make sure that it is of the highest quality before it goes live. because like I said, there isn't any going back. So just to summarize for you guys, the 6 things that you want to stop doing or start doing when it comes to influencer ads is: number 1, stop making your ads too short. Make sure it's at least 3 or 4 story slides, which is about a minute runtime. Number 2, you want to make sure you have a clear, straightforward CTA. You don't want to have multiple call to actions inside of your ads because that will confuse people. Number 3, you want to have a clear justification for your offer. Tell people exactly why they're getting XYZ discount at that given moment. Mistake number 4, no urgency. You want to make sure that people purchase on that exact moment. Give people a limited time offer and tell them why they need to purchase. Like I said, combine urgency with justification and you're almost guaranteed to get a better ROI. Mistake number 5, having no warm-up, just randomly pitching a product out of nowhere. The audience has never seen the product before, they're just randomly getting pitched a product. You want to slowly integrate your product into the influencer's day-to-day routine. Maybe show on their stories a couple days before the ads actually go live. And I can guarantee you, their audience will find the promotion as much more authentic. And number 6, you're too lenient with bad creative. You want to make sure that you're only accepting the highest quality creative. The influencer can't take shortcuts and produce low quality content and expect you to pay them. Make sure you're strict on this, because as soon as you approve low quality creative, your promotion will help you tank and you've wasted a lot of money on a good influencer. So guys, I hope you did find that video helpful. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it down in the comment section down below. Also, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my handle on the screen right there if you have any questions. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more valuable e-commerce content I've learned over the past 5 years and sharing for you guys for free now. And also drop a like on the video if you did find it helpful. I have a ton more influencer marketing related content, so if you go to my channel and click on playlists, you can see and watch all those videos that I'm sure you'll find pretty helpful. But that is it for now, guys. I will see you on the next one.
Entrepreneur gang, entrepreneur gang, entrepreneur gang. This is for my entrepreneur gang,